If you want to make crazy gains during this crypto bull market, then guess what? You have to do this one thing. You must do the opposite of what everybody else out there is doing. And if you can understand that everyone else out there is talking about any number of these 5 different complete BS things, then you're going to be able to become more successful than 95% of people out there. Therefore, hit the like button and let's go find out what those 5 things are. Now guys, this is from Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. He identified that if you want what other people don't have, you have to do what other people aren't doing. I've been out there, I've read endless Telegram messages and chats and comments and Twitter pages and found information coming out over and over again about projects that is positive and about projects that is negative, and most of it is complete BS, and it all fits into 5 categories. The first of these categories that's probably going to upset a number of you, and you'll understand why in just a moment, is in fact this. It's the elaborate storyline that is associated with some coins that is giving you this like, oh, this coin's going to be the best thing ever. So, what are they? Let me give you some examples. Jasmy is the Bitcoin of Japan. Internet Computer is the future of the internet. Casper Crypto is the new Bitcoin. XRP is the future of global monetary supply. Now, any one of these different statements could, of course, be true, with the exception of Jasmy being the Bitcoin of Japan. Because surely the Bitcoin of Japan is just Bitcoin. Especially as it's from Satoshi Nakamoto, who, to me, sounds Japanese. And even if he isn't Bitcoin still just the Bitcoin of Japan, because it's the Bitcoin of everywhere else? Anyway, all jokes aside, this isn't designed to trigger you, it's just designed to make a clear point. All of these are statements of fact without any supporting evidence. All of these are saying that something's going to happen in the future based on the technology that we have now. And I'm going to use ChatGPT to make a fine example of this. Now, I asked ChatGPT for 2 different things. I asked it for an amazing restaurant establishment that was a failing business, and I also asked it for another image, which was a shit pub packed full of people. Now, why have I asked it for those 2 different things? Well, because one represents incredible technology, i.e. the fancy restaurant, and one represents the not such good technology that people are actually using. Now, if I was to ask you which of these particular establishments you wanted to invest in, you would probably argue that you wanted to invest in the shit pub, because you're probably going to make more money. And that is exactly the same for crypto. The technology behind projects, yes, does hold weight. But until people start actively using that technology, i.e. building other projects on top of it, or utilizing it for their own business, that business is just a pipe dream. That business is just someone saying, well, I've built this amazing restaurant, why is no one using it? Okay, and that is why most of those statements that I said at the start are incorrect. And that's more true than ever in like layer 1 blockchains, okay, where you see like proof of stake blockchains, which many people are like, oh, they're inferior to the proof of work blockchains. Well, fair enough, that might be true. It might be true, but argue all you want. In the last 2 years, one of the top performing coins of any, without fail, has been Solana, and it's not anything personal. I told you the other day I sold all my Solana to buy Sui, and Sui again is having an incredible run. But it's doing it for a reason. Why? Because all the projects on Sui are absolutely booming. Okay, so if all the projects on Sui are booming, then it makes sense that Sui is going to boom. Because the volume is booming. Okay, tens of millions of transactions every single day are running through Sui. Billions of transactions every single day are running through Solana. Therefore, they might not have as good tech as something else. But these coins are going up because people are using them. Therefore, stop focusing in on the promise about this tech, about what something might do in the future, because until it does it, it's just that empty fancy restaurant. Now, guys, I'm sure there's some people out there who've been upset by that, okay? Don't get upset by it. It's not personal. I don't care. I'm just saying, identify what makes a coin strong and what makes a coin weak. Meme coins are strong just on hype and hype alone. Yes, hype does play a part in utility coins, but in utility coins, the whole point in investing in utility coins is that people use those coins. You need people to use those coins because it's going to upset that supply and demand model and cause the price of those coins to go higher. And this isn't just layer 1s, okay? This is Render over on June.com, okay, which is decentralized GPU rendering. It's not even like particularly a fantastic project in my opinion. Okay, shoot me. But if you come down below, you can see that Render, back at the end of last year, was having huge amounts of new rendered scenes being created using their technology. That was around the end of last year. What month? That was from like April up through June of last year. If we go and look at the render price, I'm probably not surprised that we're going to see that last year we had a very strong year. Okay, so this is talking about throughout the year we saw big pushes beyond the rest of the crypto market because Render was actively doing what it's supposed to do. It was the busy shit pub. This is a cache back in September. GPU capacity stuff again. Huge number of active leases. People were buying it. Okay, people were buying the platform using the token. September of last year basically just completely rockets into this kind of sky high run. Again, it's justified. It makes sense as to why this coin is going up and will continue to go up if people continue to use it. Whereas this is XRP and for years it's just been kind of going sideways and kind of down a bit, because no one is really utilizing it. There is, however, a case that you can get towards this point and have like good price increases based off of that kind of idea and concept going forward. Lots of people really like the idea, the dream behind Casper, and that's fine. That's an important part of growth in crypto. What we were hoping to see with the introduction of this KRC20 EVM compatibility thing was that they were starting to build loads of projects on Casper. That will be my tell as to whether Casper's a good investment from now, but right now, not really seeing it, especially if you go over to Drops tab and you see that Casper is underperforming against every other layer 1 out there. You come down below and you see Casper is down against Bitcoin, it's down against Ethereum, it's down against DeFi, it's down against blockchain in the last month, 3 months, 12 days, and whatever you want to say. Okay, so that kind of hope and excitement that built it up earlier on is starting to die off, and that dream that everyone's talking about isn't enough to keep it going without that volume arriving on chain, because it's just going to get outcompeted by the rest that you can see all booming up here. Now, the second fallacy, and kind of in line with the one that we've just talked about, is things like this. Well, when it gets listed on Binance, it's going to go to $2. Or when it's going to get listed on Kraken, that's at least a 50-cent coin. Well, we're going to go to this exchange and that exchange. Okay, you might do. Fair enough. But there's a good chance that might never actually happen. How do you know whether they even want to list on Binance? Do you even know what listing on Binance might do to a crypto coin? Sometimes it can be good, yeah, but also other times you can see massive sell-offs as suddenly people get the volume to exit. All those VCs are holding their bags tightly, are ready to exit on your head should they get listed on Binance. But people don't really seem to think that. They're like, the VCs are bad and Binance is good, even though Binance is probably like the worst. But that's fine. Don't speculate too much on things that might happen. Don't just invest in stuff that might happen. Do you see this is a common theme? Invest in stuff that is actually happening. You're seeing it on chain. This is DeFiLlama.com. You can see things happening. Here's another website, tokenterminal.com, and then just like /terminal. Look at this on the left-hand side. You can see the earnings. These are coins you might not have even heard of. Some of the earnings, GMX is up 690% in the last 7 days. Some of the other ones are absolutely surging as well. What's this up here? Revenue. Okay, Jito on Solana is up 224% in the last 7 days. These are the fees being charged by layer 1s. Ton up 81% in the last week. Yeah, Ton's been down a bit because the founder of Telegram's been in jail, but maybe Ton's not a bad look right now because it's actually starting to perform well. These are the very metrics that you need to pay attention to, okay? Not some guy in a chat just being like, this is the future of the internet, and then not being able to prove to you any reason why. And if he just says it because this tech's better than that, just think of the fancy restaurant and the shit pub. Right, we got 3 more and I'm going to rattle through them. Next up is this. VCs and the common misconception behind VCs. Now, this is a great website. It's called cryptofundraising.info. And if you go down below, you can see a bunch of different projects raising money. And a lot of different crypto projects have raised money in the past. Now, many of you out there have been told that VCs are the worst thing because the VCs will dump on you and you won't make any money. Well, that might be true. And yes, at some point they might dump on you. But guess what? Those VCs also invested early. And these VCs want to make money. And if that chain has the potential to continue going up because there is liquidity in the market, they're going to continue to move those markets higher and they're going to stay in them until around the top of the bull market. Now, VCs invest money in projects to build their technology. Not only that, but they invest in projects to help them with their marketing. Therefore, many projects out there, also listing teams from Binance, etc., want to see which VCs you're working with because it's very rare for Binance to list coins that don't have big VCs backing them, apart from with meme coins from time to time. But the most important part of all of this is that VCs will also pump their own bags. How do I mean? Well, this is Sui, for example. As you know, a coin that has massive VCs invested. But what happens is the VCs will pump their own bags, okay? So they sell off initial profits, they then want to buy into the market. They pump their own bags by buying into the crypto markets, investing more into market makers, and as well paying for marketing, which is something I'll talk about slightly later on. And this causes these initial price rises that gets everyone to start talking about Sui. guess what? As soon as everyone talks about SUI, everyone starts to ape into SUI. It's a natural progression. The coin then goes up in value. Therefore, other coins, I fear, during periods of time like this that don't have that VC backing, won't have that liquidity injection, during the time of all that FOMO and excitement, people are then going to go and FOMO into the likes of SUI rather than some other coin that doesn't really have those VC backers, okay? Meme coins, a slight exception to the rule, but meme coins have their own hidden kind of cabal relationships going on, okay? It's exactly the same. 99% of the coins that pump really aggressively will do it because of VCs, okay? Particularly in the next phase of the market, and people tend to pay attention to the shiny thing. Therefore, don't hate the thing that is literally the thing that makes you money. Now, that brings me on to unlocks, which you're probably going to be like, well, unlocks are terrible as well. This has a massive unlock. This coin's never going to make it. Now, Gala, in the last bull market, and I'm not saying Gala's going to make it in this one. By no means do I think Gala's going to make it ever again. But Gala Games in the last bull market was like the biggest VC coin going. Okay, it had like 10% or 20% circulating supply. And in just a few weeks, it went up like absolutely bonkers. Okay, it was the talk of the town. But it had huge unlocks to come. And so what? You sell before you get up to this point. If you bought down here and you sold somewhere up here, you're damn happy. So what? Who cares if it unlocks over here? Okay? SUI, other coins out there, their unlocks don't really happen for a good length of time yet. SUI will only have around 30% unlocked before the end of the bull market. That's nothing. SUI's up like 40% in the last week, so it's irrelevant. You can use this website called token.unlocks.app. And then you can understand that the unlocks are coming. But also understand that if I hold bags and I invested early in a project, just because I have an unlock right now doesn't mean I'm going to dump it. If I think that coin's still got potential to run, I'm going to hold my bags in that coin. VC's dumping is something that happens in low liquid markets. It doesn't affect you so much in a full-blown bull market. So forget about all this rubbish noise. It's happened more recently because of projects that have launched after March the 11th, which is when Bitcoin died off and people panic sold. And you get VC offloads that look kind of like this. This is AOS. This was the last bull market, in fact. And you can see after the bull market, it died off. Basically, everyone sold off. Crypto sells off, okay? Now, guys, if you want to keep up to date with all of this kind of deep insight, okay, this deep research that no one else out there is talking about, then make sure you go down below and sign up for the House of Crypto newsletter. It's absolutely free. All you need to do, go down below, fill in your email address details, and you will be able to gain access to that newsletter. There'll be at least one per week, sometimes two, with exclusive deals and offers as well. Now, on to the last one. Paid shillers and paid influencers. Now, guys, I'll have to admit to you, in the past, I have taken sponsorship deals, and I do tell you on my videos when I'm in partnership with someone. This video is not in partnership with someone. Maybe I'll try to shill you an exchange at the end, but this is not in partnership with someone. But why should you care? Well, if it's a smaller channel, very small channels tend to pick up kind of the worst crappy deals because decent companies don't want to work with crappy channels, so they just go and offer them something. Small channels don't do so well, so they go and take crappy deals to try and make some money. Bigger channels, like mine, and much bigger, like altcoin dailies, etc., will only work with the cream of the crop. Now, also, you probably hear, well, I don't want to be invested in there because they have paid influencers. But hold your horses. Go and look at every coin in your portfolio. Go and tell me where you heard about those coins. I would imagine that 90 to 100% of those coins you heard about either on YouTube or Twitter. Therefore, wouldn't it make sense that if you wanted to launch a crypto project, that the best way to go to market would be to identify someone to tell you, people like you on YouTube and Twitter, where they found that coin? Yeah? Here's the thing, I'm going to show you a message. This is a guy who's going to remain anonymous, approaching me about a project, trying to get me to invest in a KOL round. Look at what he talks about as being the most important things that I want to pay attention to should I want to invest in this. He's talking about the investors at the top. He tells me the big VCs. This is the most important stuff. He then comes down, talks about the partners and integrations, launch pads, central exchanges, etc. He then, if you come down below, talks about the KOLs that are on board. You've got Ivan on Tech, Crypto Diamonds, No Cliff, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I know Ivan Tech, I don't really know many of the others. Here's the point that everybody is missing. You're all told to ignore all of these things that people don't like. They don't like VCs. But this is what is being told to me is, this is someone shilling me a project, telling me that I need to invest because they've got the best VCs. They're telling me, someone who appears to know about crypto, the things I need to hear before I consider investing in something. If they're telling me that these are the things that I need to pay attention to before I decide whether or not I want to invest, like the VCs and the KOLs, then why would you say that you don't want to invest in projects that are backed by VCs and are backed by big KOLs? You see my point, okay? I won't invest in these projects, these early projects, unless they've got big KOLs to talk about them. because who else is going to talk about them? How are they going to get their name out there? I want big KOLs to talk about my projects. I want big KOLs to back my stuff. I want big venture capital funds to pump my bags. Everything you're told is so upside down, and this is something you should screenshot and save, because it's this that is the secret behind everything you're missing, okay? This is why influencers and VCs and smart money makes money, and everyone else out there who's trying to do the opposite of this is losing. Because remember, the people who are privy to this kind of message is only like 1 or 2% of people in crypto. And hopefully, this is going to completely open your eyes into what you actually should be looking for, and to ignore all the rubbish that people are telling you on a daily basis. Now, here's another one. This is just a bonus one. Don't just go and stake crypto coins based off of how amazing the tech is and how bright the future looks, because someone told you to. Because actually, guys, guess what? Every coin, including Bitcoin, will go up a lot in the next year or so, and then after that it will come down a lot. Therefore, what's the point in staking to make 15% extra tokens over that period of time? It's absolutely insane. Buy now, if you haven't bought, or hold, or whatever you want to do, not financial advice. Sell somewhere near the top, at least in that kind of 40% range, and then wait, and then buy much lower down, and then wait for the next bull market, and you will make 10 times more than that extra 15% that you get from holding and staking. And also, you then don't run the risk that that project might die in the next bull market because some other project comes out and is better. Okay guys, I'm sure by now you've understood that this video is slightly different from many that you'll see out there. Hopefully I've exposed a lot of the details and information that you need to become successful in crypto. If you want to continue learning and becoming a real true alpha in crypto, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out on future gems like this one. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.